Hey, it's your boy the Crypto Goon, and shout out to all my crypto goons for pulling up once again. XDC, a sleeping giant. Now, currently, we are at about 5 cents, a tick from 6 cents. And I talked about what XDC was going to do about a month ago before it did it. So let's run that tape back and see exactly what happened. And we kind of went up a little higher, almost to the 141, like really close to the 141, like damn close. Now, what I'm starting to see is a bearish pattern forming, and this is a bearish triangle pattern forming on the weekly. So right here, this is a bearish triangle pattern right here. So I'm looking for it to make the move down like I originally said it would do, and then make a move back up. So now, as you can see, we came down to this area and we bounced off. Now, the way that I was able to come up, you know that I use the Fibonacci, and when it comes to cryptocurrency, they love the 50% and the 618% retracement areas, okay? So we've been in this large bullish triangle pattern. I also love triangle patterns. We broke out of this triangle pattern with the move to the upside. Then we went into a correction mode and we did this bullish triangle pattern, which is what I mentioned in the video that I just played. And now we're exiting that triangle pattern. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to bounce around the 50 or, slightly come in this area right here and then take off, right? So there is a bull run coming. Okay, I'm going to play a video in a second about Donald Trump talking about the bull run. But the other thing is, Donald Trump is looking to recommend a new person to recommend Jerome Powell in the next 2 months. Now, Jerome currently has a 90% chance of cutting interest rates. Anytime we cut interest rates, right, it becomes cheaper to borrow money, right? So this also, puts the stock market and the cryptocurrency market in the bull run. Now, it will raise inflation, but it makes investors more optimistic. And when it comes to the Trump administration, we all know he loved to say, hey, when I was president, the stock market went crazy, right? The crypto market went crazy. And that's okay for us, right? There's always a yin and a yang, a good or a bad to everything. But when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, you have to pay attention to the patterns to see which ones will go crazy, because all of them won't. Some will go into correction territory, okay? So this particular one, there's a pattern setting up. So for me to figure out to come up with my target, I reversed the Fibonacci, okay? And I'm looking for this to go to 36 cents currently from where it is, which is technically 6 cents, but it's like 5 cents, and it's like one tick away from 6 cents. So I'm looking forward to go to 36 cents. And I've also posted this chart on my TradingView. Feel free to follow me on TradingView, Crypto Goon, okay? Now, I want to play this clip from Donald Trump where he talked about Bitcoin yesterday. All right, so let me go ahead and play this.
And I was in Bitcoin then, not knowing if I was going to do it a third time. So it's become amazing. I mean, it's the jobs that it produces. And I notice more and more you pay in Bitcoin. I mean, people are saying it takes a lot of pressure off the dollar. And it's a great thing for our country. So I don't care about investing. I have I have kids and they invest in different things. They do believe in it. But I'm president, and what I did do there is build an industry that's very important. And if we didn't have it, China would. Okay. Sir, Mr. President.
Okay, so technically he's right. All right. Now, as far as the jobs, this whole statement, it wasn't really about the jobs. Cool. Bitcoin creates jobs. You have miners and, just as an example, right? You have content creators, just as in another example. That is true. However, the industry, right? He's 100% right. Cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency as a whole is an industry. It is a growing industry. If you're somebody that wants to get involved and wants to make more money, then you should look at getting reskilled and tuned into the cryptocurrency industry. There are multiple things. You can be a miner, right? You can learn blockchain technology, how to implement it, how to maintain it, things around that. Artificial intelligence. There are a lot of artificial intelligence aspects to this, that people are building different things every day with artificial intelligence, starting with like the baseline chat GPT to fine tune the idea and then build it from there. And of course, content creation, right? So I talk about all the time, especially on my larger channel, this particular crypto channel makes about $1,000 a day. And I'm not talking about AdSense money. Okay. So there is enough for everybody, to get in and make. And, if you're somebody that has a low end job, you want to be able to invest more, which obviously investing in cryptocurrency is another way to create wealth and make money. You may want to look at getting into other aspects of the industry because it's still new. Cryptocurrency has been around for a while, but as far as politicians being involved, the government being involved, and actually their actual steps forward, that's sort of new. Okay, and getting in on the front end, you just like with the .com thing, right? A lot of these guys, one of my wife's clients, he made $500 million. Sorry, my wife's client's husband made like $500 million during the .com bubble. That era when the internet was first starting to pick up steam. He was a Dell executive, right? Back when people used to look at computers like what is this? Like the internet, but he ended up selling, leaving his job and selling all of his shares, and he walked away with $500 million in bonuses and stuff like that, or a little bit over 500 million. So there's opportunities everywhere, right? This is the next industrial revolution, right? So you have to pick and choose where you want to be. You can be an investor. You can get your skills up and learn some things. You can get into content creation, right? So there's there's different facets and sides to this whole thing, and he's 100% right. And it's a good thing that his administration and his kids are in his ear telling him like, hey, this is next, because they have their own holdings as well, right? So at the end of the day, there's a lot of opportunity here, and you should definitely take advantage of it, hit the ground running. And anything that you don't know, feel free to leave a comment. You can always go on YouTube. You can always ask Google, Chat GPT to get a head start and get the answers and get pointed in the right direction. Then you learn on the way, like the rest of us have, right? But at the end of the day, I appreciate you all tapping in. It's the #1 goon, never the two, the Crypto Goon. I appreciate y'all. Crypto Goon out.